stranger to you. He's been in the media industry for some time now. His voice synonymous with Classic 105. Mike Mondo, hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I told you this last time. People constantly peg you. They're like, oh, he's going to be the next Mike Kageni. And I'm like, no, he's just going to be the next Mike Mondo.
Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, but a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I hope eventually it will change.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, the hashtag Mama Nakuita is a partnership that we've had with Geisha, where we celebrate moms and we talk about moms. And as you know, we were doing our research, we found out that you don't have one mom.
Yeah.
You have quite a number of moms.
Yes.
And you have a very interesting and inspiring story.
Yeah.
So take us back to where it all began.
I'd say where it all began, I'd have to start with my grandma. God rest her soul. She was quite the woman, Mary Mondo, who was one of the women who started pioneering equality in Kenya. She was part of the Maendeleo Wanawake movement. At some point, she was even chairman in Mombasa, and then went ahead to be national chairman at some point. And then she even went to Beijing.
Oh, wow.
But the beautiful thing about it is that she taught us that, she taught me rather, and also in our family, whenever those Christmas celebrations would come by, Easter, and everyone goes to shags, we were always taught that everyone is the same. So as boys growing up, we were told, yes, you have to get into the kitchen. And even my dad used to be told, you have to get into the kitchen. My household, my rules.
Yeah.
And so I loved that about her. And she was all about family, protecting her own. It was always family first, and then the rest of the world.
Yeah, and you're really big on that.
Yes, extremely, huge.
He spends his weekend, I mean, we spend time with our family, but like, Mike goes in.
Yeah, I like spending time. Most of the time, in fact, my best friends are my cousins. A lot of people don't know this, but yes, they're my cousins. And our parents grew us up. In fact, the sisters, my aunties, my mom, so Mary Momodo's children, the girls, grew their children up together. So I call my cousin my brother. I don't look at him as my cousin. I can literally go to any one of their houses without any notice and just crash and say, you know what, I'll see you. I'm spending the night.
I'm
and
here.
It's okay. Yeah, it's just how we've grown up.
Yeah.
And mom took that up too. And as she was raising us, and of course, at some point I lost my dad when I was 13 years old, but she brought in that aspect of resilience for me, because despite the fact that dad passed on, to this day I can tell you I never saw my mom cry. Yet I hear stories that she did when my dad passed away, but she didn't. She had to keep it together because she had 4 boys. Two were in private school, one was just about finished Form 4, another one was just getting into Form 1. To be able to take them all through school, and she had no job at the time. She had to get back into the job market with only a secretary's diploma, but somehow she managed to educate 1 kid abroad, 1 through high school and through university, 2 others through primary school and into high school and into university. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's resilience on another level.
It is. So you come from a family, you know, from very strong women.
Extremely.
Very independent.
Yeah.
You know, very opinionated and very hardworking.
Yes, and I think it all stemmed. That's why I started this with my grandma, because the way she raised her children was that it was all about togetherness. So one of the advantages we had growing up was, I did not just my auntie was not just my auntie. My auntie was my mother. If she saw that I needed help, she would come in and help. And that's even, there's one woman who really stands out in my life. She's called Rahab Mwendwa. She was my mom's best friend. And growing up, and I think you know the son, you've met the son, Dr. Mwendwa, big up to you. He's my little brother. And when we grew up, we used to play together, we used to act out together. Every time, like whenever there was an issue, like she was always there. She would, if mom couldn't pick us up from school, she was the one who would come and pick us up from school. When dad passed away, she was the one front and center. I mean, taking care of us and telling us, you know what, come stay at my house. And when I started my radio career, she's the one, in fact, she was the first person to tell me, you should do radio. And I used to look at her like, come on, are you serious? Like,
and she pushed you, and for you to get on it.
And she told me, yeah, she told me, do it. You have the voice for it. You have the character, the personality for it. So
Why
do
not?
it. Yeah, I
Give
mean,
it
what
a
do you
try.
have to lose? Yeah.
Wow, she really did play the mom role to encourage you and
to
push
encourage
you.
me and push me.
Yeah. Now, so that's mom number 3, right?
Yes.
So,
And the final one is Elizabeth Mwangi. That's my mom's sister. The reason I respect her was that there was a time in my family's journey where we didn't have a roof over our head. We didn't have a home to stay in. And I remember at some point my mom was working in Botswana because now her best friend, who's Rahab, had gone to Botswana to start a business. So mom went with her to start that business. We were left in Nairobi, and Elizabeth Mwangi took us in, and for my entire campus life, she was my mom. Everything, from bus fare to food to my first ever job, she's the one who hooked it up. Like, you want to do something, like anything, like she was always there. Her son became one of my closest friends to date. Her daughter became one of my closest friends to date, and so I call her my mom. In fact, if she's in a room, I don't call her auntie, I call her mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
What? So these are very many moms. These are 4 moms.
Yeah,
So-
these are 4 moms.
And you wanted to say something?
Yes, no, I wanted to say, those are the 4 strongest, I think most of the lessons I've learned in
Yes.
my life came from those 4 women. And on top of that, my grandmother taught me how to cook, because that was something I never knew how to do until one time when I went through a bit of a crazy phase. I was sent to Shags and I was told, stay there. And she taught me how to cook, to bake, lima that shamba, to go, everything. Like, she used to tell me, in my house, there's no man or woman role. It's everyone plays a part in my house.
You know what's so insane is that with everyone, it always happens. You're told, "Hey, where is that tutapeleka ushago?"
Yeah.
It's always a punishment for everyone.
Yeah.
But you know, Mike, we hear a lot about, you know, guys who mistreat women, and you know, there is this unfortunate narrative that has, you know, just, I think, completely taken over. This is now online, where, you know, there's constant victimization, and you know, and people are not just misunderstanding, I guess, feminism, and it's just been a lot. But I know you see it, right?
I do see it. It's wrong, and let me tell any man about, like, honestly, let's be serious. I hate, first of all, that when men talk about things like women are investments. Women are not investments. That's not a property you're purchasing and expecting a return. That's a human being. The moment you put a term that she's an investment, you're talking like she's a slave. You're taking us back to slavery, because that's what the slave owners of back in the day used to do. They would invest in slaves to work on their land and bring them a produce. So you can never say that. So by light of saying that, I don't get how a person says that because they did X, Y, Z for a woman, they expect a certain return. It's not, it doesn't work that way. Even in your own religious faith, people are told, as a man, go work, provide for your family.
Yeah.
So if you cannot show that you can be a man and you're expecting a return on investment, I always ask the men, then what does she get in return? Then if you're going to look at her as an investment, do you know that her time is her investing in you? Her energy, her giving you children is her working hard to make her own money, to help you when you don't have that money, is her investing in you. But a lot of the times, women get the raw end of a stick.
They do.
Over and over. And you're expected to understand, but as a man, for me, it's okay.
All right, so you're very aware of male privilege.
Yes.
So you know it exists.
Completely.
Okay, that's
completely.
great. All right. So Usha, what do people say? All right. So now, Avengers Endgame. If you didn't know, is now showing. Are you above?
Oh my God!
Right?
I can't wait. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I had to get my tickets today for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we could watch it together next week on Friday. Watch it out, Mike. We're watching it next week on Friday, and we're doing so at Anga Diamond. That's at Diamond Plaza. That's second Parklands. The trend will be live from Anga IMAX Diamond Plaza, and you can be one of our lucky guests. We're looking for more than 100 of you. Imagine, to just come out. I want to buy you a free ticket to come and watch a movie. Kick it with me, right?
You couldn't tell me this before I bought mine.
Okay.
Like, you could have told me this on text.
Sorry, yeah. So the hashtag is Avengers on the Trend. Hashtag Avengers on the Trend. All you have to do is take a selfie proving that you're watching the show, and that's it. More than 100 of you. Come and join in and have a good time. Now, Mike, you know, when we talk about motherhood and we talk about moms in general, there's so much, you know, that we could talk about and go on and on and on and on. But what are the key lessons that you could say, the three things that you've taken away from, all of your moms?
Mom is always reliable. Like, no matter what, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Reliability, I hold it as a key, character in myself. Like, I don't like letting people down. It's like today when I was coming here, finding parking was an issue, and I was like, oh my God, or maybe I should cancel, or maybe I should do it. But I said, no, I made a commitment. I'm going to stick to it.
Hey, Mike, hey.
I'm sorry.
Because of parking, you're going to...
They had blocked off the roads because
yes,
you're
that's
celebrating
true.
60 years. So it's a nightmare out there. So I was like, what am I going to do? So, but I stuck through it. And that's one thing I learned from my moms. Yeah. Always be reliable. Number two, another thing that I learned is, by the way, family over everything. It doesn't matter how big you are, how famous you are, how successful you are. If you do not have a happy home, there's no way you're going to be successful out there. So success first starts in the home. And I think the third thing is always believe in something, always have faith in something. It's something my mom has always had. She always tells me when I'm going through problems, Mike, do you pray? Sit down and pray. Sometimes, and I'm always like, but Mom, I need a solution now. And she's like, no, pray on it. Pray on it. Sometimes the things you may feel are not solutions could actually be solutions if you took the time to just silence, get into the room alone and just pray about it. Yeah. So to believe in something, just anything. She doesn't even tell me, I don't care if you believe in a cow, that's on you, but just believe in something. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mike Mondo. And I love it, all parents, all moms.
Yeah.
Like, just pray.
Pray.
Just pray. Natafuta bibi, pray. All right, so now we wanted to say thank you. And of course, I think we're going to have to get packages for all of your moms. But every single time we want to thank you, all of our guests, when they come and they share their stories about their moms. And they tell us, all of these private, bits of information about your mom and, just telling us details about your life. Thank you so much. And we want to celebrate them. So you're going to have to go give them. I don't know if you...
No, I'm actually meeting them tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
At least 2 of them.
Okay, well, that's from Geisha. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Geisha.
For all the moms. Yes. Yeah. So we have to open it up.
We have to. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Let me hold this. I hope it doesn't...
It won't fall out.
This is nice.
Yes.
Oh, and surprise, surprise, my mom is actually called Daphne.
Well, it's tailor-made, okay? We custom made them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
Damn.
all of them will be, all of them will have your mom's names. So thank you so much, Mike.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Make sure that you listen to him on Classic 105 at...
Yes, from 3 to 7 p.m.
With
Terry Muikamba.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Mike, you should sign out in Kao. You can't sign out in
Kao.
We're going on a break. We're going on a break.
Let me sign out in Kitaita instead. David Amasinda. Sometime soon.
That sounds like
in
Swahili.
future.
All right, so Usha, we're not taking a break, but we have to hear about more on the comments that we're getting. #Hamina. What tweets are we getting?